Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Spectrum of Chemistry. Today in this lecture, we are going to learn about two very important terms. One is angular momentum and the other one is magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment is sometimes known as magnetic moment and it is represented by mu. We will discuss these two terms in two different cases. One is electron and the second one is nucleus. Let us first take an example of a spinning electron which is moving in its orbit around the nucleus. This electron is moving in an orbit around the nucleus and its motion is in the clockwise direction. This electron has two different type of motions. One is spinning motion, which arises due to its motion on its own axis. This spinning motion results spin angular momentum, which is represented by vector S. Another case is this electron is moving in an orbital path and thus it results orbital angular momentum, which is represented by vector L. Since these two different kind of motions of this electron interacts with each other and their interaction results spin orbit angular momentum, which is represented by vector J, and this spin orbit angular momentum is sometimes known as total angular momentum. Since this is a vector quantity, so it is very important to determine its direction. To determine its direction, let us consider the right hand thumb rule, which helps to determine the direction of the total angular momentum. Here in this, if we think of our right hand and our fingers are curling inside, then the direction of our finger is anti-clockwise, which is the direction of the current, as here in this case our electron is moving in clockwise direction and the opposite to the motion of the electron. Therefore, this anti-clockwise direction is the direction of the current. The direction of our thumb represents the direction of total angular momentum J. Now, this J can be considered like this. If our moving electron is in the plane of the paper, then the direction of J is perpendicular to that. After this angular momentum, we will come to the next term, which is magnetic dipole moment or magnetic moment. Before discuss about the magnetic dipole moment, we must understand the origin of the magnetic dipole. How this magnetic dipole creates. Magnetic dipole means a charged particle is having two different poles. One is north pole and the second one is south pole. To understand the origin of this magnetic dipole, let us consider this picture. In this picture, our electron is moving in this direction, that is clockwise direction, and our current is moving in the opposite direction, which is anti-clockwise direction, and our thumb suggests the direction of the total angular momentum J. Now, if we consider two distant points on this orbit, then at this point our current is moving in upward direction, and at this point our current is moving in downward direction. If we adjoin these two different points, then we will have an image like this. This image very much resembles to the letter N. Now I ask you to draw this picture in your notebook and turn your page and see the image. If you are looking it in through this direction, and see this image from this direction or the back side of your page, then you will see that we will have a mirror image of this, like this. This image very much resembles to the letter S. In this way, we are considering that a moving charge particle creates a dipole that can be represented like this. Here this is the north pole and this is the south pole, which is created by a charge particle. Since this magnetic dipole is created by a charged particle, thus it itself has its magnetic dipole moment, which we represent by a symbol mu, and this is equals to the multiplication of current I and the area of the orbit. We are not going into the detailed solution of this equation, which is out of the scope of this lecture, but I took the final result of this equation. Here this is our magnetic dipole moment, this GE, which is electronic G factor, and this mu B is the electronic bond magnetron. This J represents the total or spin orbit angular momentum. This H cross is nothing else, this is equals to H upon 2 pi, where H is the Planck's constant. The value of this bond magnetron is equals to the 0.927 into 10 raised to the power minus 23 joules per Weber per meter square. This is the minimum magnetic moment which is created by a moving charged electron in the absence of external magnetic field. Now we will discuss both the terms, that is angular momentum and magnetic moment in case of nucleus. For this, let us have an example of a hydrogen nucleus. This nucleus of hydrogen is having non-zero I value. This is nuclear spin value, which is non-zero in this case of hydrogen, and equal to 1 by 2. This nucleus is having one proton in its nucleus. According to the classical picture, this nucleus is assumed to be spherical and rotates about an axis, and thus possesses a nuclear or an intrinsic angular momentum. Suppose this nuclei is moving in anti-clockwise direction, then the direction of its intrinsic angular momentum or the nuclear spin angular momentum can be calculated by using right hand thumb rule. Here the direction of the curl of our finger is anti-clockwise and represents the movement of the nucleus, and the direction of the thumb of the right hand represents the direction of the nuclear spin angular momentum, which is represented by vector I, and same is the direction for nuclear magnetic moment. This spinning charged nucleus will create a magnetic dipole as it does in case of electron, which we have discussed earlier. Here this is the direction of the nuclear spin angular momentum, and same is the direction for nuclear magnetic moment. We are not going to derive the expression for this nuclear magnetic moment. However, we will just show the final expression for this nuclear magnetic moment. Here in this equation, Gn is the nuclear G factor, mu n is the bond magnetron, this is I, which is nuclear spin angular momentum, and this h cross is equal to h upon 2 pi, where h is the Planck's constant. The value for mu n is equal to 5.05 into 10 raised to the power minus 27 joules per Weber per meter square, which means that a spinning charged nucleus will generate at least this much magnetic field in the absence of an external magnetic field. This can be understood by this figure. Here in this case, the circles represent the nucleus which are present in the given sample, and this arrow which is passed through the center is the direction of the nuclear magnetic moment which is created by the spinning charged nucleus. According to the quantum mechanical consideration, this nuclear spin angular momentum is a quantized property of the nucleus, which depends on the nuclear spin value I. This nuclear spin value is also known as spin angular momentum quantum number. Here in case of proton nuclei, the value for I is 1 by 2, as I told you earlier. If such a nucleus having nuclear spin angular momentum as well as nuclear magnetic moment is placed in the applied external magnetic field, then its component Iz along the direction of the field is equal to the Mi h cross, or we can say is where Mi is nuclear magnetic spin quantum number. This Mi depends on the values plus I to minus I, and this also tells us about the number of total allowed spin states it may adopt. Here Mi is the nuclear magnetic spin quantum number, and the value of this Mi depends upon the value of the nuclear spins, that is equal to this 2i plus 1 values. In this case, we have another relationship between this magnetic moment and the angular momentum in z direction. Both are proportional to each other. If we replace this proportionality sign, then we will have a relation like this. Here gamma is the proportionality constant, and it tells us about the gyromagnetic ratio of the nucleus, which is very important, and that we will discuss in the next lecture. If I replace the value of this z component of the angular momentum from this equation to this equation, then we will have value of this magnetic moment equal to gamma Mi h cross. In case of hydrogen nucleus, since I is equal to 1 by 2, therefore this Mi is equal to plus minus half, and the value of the magnetic moment since also depends on this Mi value, therefore it is in this case equal to plus minus half gamma h cross. These values suggest that a nucleus of proton, two different allowed orientations that are equal to plus half and minus half Mi values with respect to the z direction or the direction of the applied magnetic field. One more thing, quantum mechanics tells about that these two magnetic moments of a nucleus cannot be parallel to the applied magnetic field. They are oriented at an angle theta to the applied magnetic field. In more elaborated form, these examples can be understood by taking into consideration the following figures. Suppose a number of nucleus which are present in the sample orient themselves randomly in the absence of applied magnetic field. However, when an external applied magnetic field is present, then these nuclei will orient themselves in the two different spin states. One is either in the direction of the applied magnet parallel to the applied magnetic field, or it is opposite to the applied magnetic field. The orientation or this parallel to the applied magnetic field and opposite magnetic field will generate two different energy states that can be shown here in this figure. This is the aligned state corresponding to m is equal to plus half, when our applied magnetic field is non-zero, and this is also known as a low energy state. However, the opposite to the applied magnetic field, which is also represented by beta, is a high energy state, and that corresponds to m is equal to minus 1 by 2. This is a bit confusing because it is difficult to understand why this aligned and why this opposite state is taking place. So to have a better understanding or better clarity of this situation, we will consider this figure. Suppose this is the applied magnetic field and this is the north pole of the applied magnetic field and south pole of the applied magnetic field, and the direction of the applied magnetic field is north to south. Now, since a spinning charge nucleus will create a magnetic dipole which has nuclear magnetic moment, and in case of nucleus, the direction of the nuclear magnetic moment is in upward direction as corresponds by the right hand thumb rule. If this nucleus or this dipole is placed in the applied magnetic field, then the south pole of this dipole is towards north pole of the applied magnetic field. However, north pole of the magnetic dipole is towards the south pole of the applied magnetic field. Since these two opposite poles are attractive, therefore this state is of low energy state. Similarly, those nuclei which align themselves in the opposite direction to the applied magnetic field, in that case north pole of the dipole is toward north pole of the external magnetic field, and south pole of this dipole is towards the south pole of the external magnetic. There is a force of repulsion between the same kind of poles. Such type of dipole will try to align itself in the direction of the applied magnetic field. Therefore, this is of high energy state in case of a nucleus. I hope these terms are now clear to you. Here in this case, and the energy states are generated corresponding to plus half and minus half mi values, and the transition between these two energy states is studied under NMR spectroscopy. In the same way, in case of electron, the energy states are generated and the transition between the energy states is studied by electron paramagnetic resonance spectroscopy. One thing which I would like to bring to your notice that in case of electron, the lower energy state is minus half and the high energy state is corresponding to plus half spin value. That we will discuss in detail in case of electron paramagnetic resonance spectroscopy. I hope from this lecture you are able to understand how a magnetic dipole is created by a moving charged particle, and right hand thumb rule helps to determine its angular momentum and the direction of magnetic moment. In case of nucleus, both are in same direction, and in addition to this, the relationship between the z component of this spin angular momentum and magnetic moment gives an idea about the number of allowed energy states for a given nuclei when placed in the applied external magnetic field. The number of quantized states for this hydrogen nucleus with I is equal to 1 by 2 are 2, which is calculated by this same formula. This lecture in which we are going to discuss about difference between the energy state is a function of applied magnetic field. Thank you.